Continuing our story 2 days later, we have the entire surface world in absolute peril. My apologies. We see Titans over the world just terrorizing citizens. The military trying their best to stop them, but they're no match for them. They're they're powerless against them. Every Titan that we've seen, everyone we can think of, everyone that we could ever name has come out and they just started attacking, wreaking havoc, leveling cities, destroying countries. The entire planet itself is at their mercy. We see monsters like Rodan tearing through jets, but at the center of it all is Godzilla. Being controlled by Namor, Godzilla is the one calling the shots. Well, through Namor's conscience, obviously, right? So what we have here is just Namor simply telling Godzilla what to do, telling him how to maneuver the Titans, how they could basically benefit from, you know, just wrecking all these humans entirely, just wrecking the world. And Namor sits there just wondering who's gonna stop him, who could, how could they? As we see Tiamat lay waste to, underwater observatories, we see the Talocons or the Atlanteans led by Atuma and Natuma and freshly recovered Namora, as they just tear through and tear down everything that mankind has built, everything that the world has built. You thought the world would never be the same after King of the monsters. Well, let's see them recover from this. We then see Godzilla make his way to the gathering of world leaders as he wipes out the military with his atomic breath. However, we then go to the Hollow Earth, specifically the Water Village, where pretty much both the Omatakai and the Metakai have all gathered. They're wondering what they should do. They're wondering if they could really, have a chance against Namor, if they could actually join him, or they're just confused on what they should do. A2 Khan is pretty much more concerned about his daughter than anything. We then fast forward to the rubble of the temple, where Kong and Neytiri are both searching for Zilla. Kong is trying his best here, but Neytiri is frantic. She's panicking, wondering where he is, if he's okay, if he's alive. Neytiri is begging Kong to help out much faster, and Kong is trying his best, but he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where to look. He doesn't even know if he can move all this rubble in time in order to find him. But this is when they hear a trumpet, and a white behemoth just appears. It uses its tusks to move all the rubble, and out comes Zilla. He's fine. A little bit hurt, but fine. Neytiri rushes to him, and they both embrace each other. Neytiri asks him, what are they going to do? They don't know, she's panicking, and she's betting that her people are also panicking as well. Zilla cups her face, telling her that they're going to have to fight Namor, but he doesn't want them to do it just yet. Neytiri says she'll have to convince her people, and she's not sure if they're even going to be willing to do it. This is when Zilla turns his attention to Kong, and the two have a brief conversation, to which Kong acknowledges this and leaves. Zilla then says that'll buy them some time, and Neytiri asks him what he's done. And this is when Zilla says he's asking Kong to fight Godzilla, at least hold him off until he can get this done. And this is when he turns to the white behemoth and actually acknowledges the creature's presence. They both have a short conversation about what has to be done, what needs to be done, and what's going on. Neytiri then asks for a translation, and what Zilla gives her is something, well, basically information he has. That there's a way to take, the power of Shimu away from Namor, but he has to go to the other part of the Hollow Earth, to the other side, in order to get it. Neytiri then grabs her bow and tells Zilla, do what you must, and I will do what I must. Zilla then nods, and they both walk away, both giving each other a look back, hoping that the other will make it out okay in the end. So then we see Zilla pretty much acknowledge the white behemoth's presence. And, well, sorry, not acknowledge it, more or less, conversate with him as the two both go on their journey. We then see Neytiri as well go on her journey back to her people, dodging aggressive animals, just kind of just dipping and dodging through the woods. So, we get a good montage of them both going on their journey with each other. Well, sorry, back to their respective location or going to their respective locations. This is when Zilla turns into his beast form and actually allows the behemoth to be carried upon him as they make their way across the sea. We then see, the Hollow Earth's version of the ocean, right? We then go back and we actually see Major Hicks talking to Audrey. Yeah, we actually see these two talking, and they're pretty much discussing the entire situation. And Audrey hopes that eventually her son will turn up and this could all be resolved. To which Hicks says, if only it was that simple. We then see Neytiri arrive back at her village donning a warrior outfit. You could say she made it, or you could say she probably went and grabbed it before getting to the people. And this is when everyone is pretty much just conversating with her about what's the best move, what's the best plan. To which Neytiri says they're going to have to fight Namor. And when Runal asks for, where Zilla is, and Neytiri tells him that he's going on a journey to take the power of Shimu. And this is when Toneri says, then we will have to strike and hopefully buy him some time before Namor notices. Back on the surface, we actually see Namor pretty much just break into the gathering hall here. And as he orders Godzilla to fire, Kong immediately jumps out, bull rushing Godzilla and pushes him back. This is when we get a much more different version of the Godzilla versus Kong fight, or at least another, I guess you could say a rematch, if you will. Kong's trying to just stall him out as best as he can here, avoiding the atomic breath and landing blows when he can. It actually comes to the point where Kong simply keeps it close and doesn't allow him to use the atomic breath, which does get on Namor's nerve. This one we see Namor pretty much just assert his dominance over the world leaders, killing a few of their guards as they try to approach him. And this one we see President Jackson Briggs, yes, the homie himself, as the true president of the United States, stand up to Namor. We then go back into the Hollow Earth and we reach this Pleistocene-like area, this or at least somewhat Titan area. These animals, these prehistoric fauna, these megafauna, much like our own, but untouched by anything. But as Zilla and the White Behemoth, or, I'm going to call them Ice here, as Behemoth and Ice both travel to their respective locations, they both see that this environment is very poor. It's very lacking in nutrition for these animals. And this is when they reach the Temple of Ice, the Behemoth bids him farewell, as he has his own journey to go on. And this is when Zilla goes through the temple in his beast form still, by the way, and he sees everything that's happening. He sees, so he doesn't see everything that's happening. He basically learns the history of the Titans and how it all ties right back down into Shimu, the founding father, his ancestor, his genus, his birth genus. And he starts understanding everything. Godzilla's hostility towards him, the power that was supposed to be his birthright, everything. Back on the surface, actually see Jax and Namor duking it out the best he can. Jax is actually pretty strong. I would probably put him in the same category as, actually, I would actually say he's in the same category as characters like Luke Cage, Colossus, and The Thing. But again, every blow he throws, it only staggers this much stronger Namor, who absolutely backhands him. And this is when he orders Namora and the rest of the Atlanteans to execute the world leaders, while he executes, obviously, the President of the United States. But just as they do that, this is when the Na'vi people decide to strike. This is when pretty much they catch them by surprise and they actually start doing some damage. Their Ikrans, their Elus, they're able to take down some of the kaiju. As a matter of fact, they're even able to take over some of the kaiju as they would have a better connection as Zilla pretty much trained them all in how to tame these kaiju. So basically, they're doing that, and as Namor draws his spear, he actually goes for Neytiri, who draws out her knife. And she tells Namor that this is the beginning of the end of his reign. Back in the Hollow Earth, Zilla begins to become hostile. He senses something. He feels something is off as he reaches the last door of the Hollow Earth. And he sees a plant in front of him. But when he bends down to sniff it, the plant begins to grow larger. And then, in all of a sudden, wraps around him, engulfing him, holding him down there. As Zilla struggles frantically, he tries to fight it, but the creature shows itself as Man-Thing. And that's where we're going to leave it off here, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. Man-Thing being revealed to be the guardian of this tomb, the final testament to Zilla'S, I guess you could honestly say Zilla'S power, or if he's worthy of this power, if you will. And Namor and Neytiri are about to square off. And how long is she going to last? Let me know in your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys later for Chapter 6 in Wave 6. Peace.